Congratulations on another big fight coming up. Obviously, not the quality of opponents that you faced before when it comes to Jennifer Hahn. What do you think that she does well?
Yeah, I think she's actually a very, very good technical boxer. She has a very, very good amateur background as well. So I'm actually expecting a very tough fight. I don't think she's probably not considered a big name, but in terms of quality, I think she's actually very, very good. I think she's gonna bring her best game on Saturday night. I think she's gonna perform better than she ever has performed. That's usually the case, and so I'm obviously expecting a tough fight. I've prepared for a tough fight, and I can't afford obviously to get complacent at this level, because once you get complacent and think it's going to be an easier fight, that's when you actually start losing fights. So yeah, I'm prepared for a tough battle on Saturday night.
In your experiences, have you found opponents try to rise to the occasion when they fight you?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they perform maybe 10 or 15% better than they've actually done before. So that I've even found that even as an amateur boxer, people have done that. So I'm so used to it being in this position, and I have to raise my game as well each and every time. These fights are obviously there's no easy fights at this level. You have all the belts in the line. I think it can happen in boxing. You have to be super sharp and super focused every time you step into the ring. And I'm obviously not prepared to give away my belts.
Now, Headingley Rugby League Stadium in Leeds in Yorkshire, in just a few days' time, you've boxed all over Europe. Where's some of your favourite places to box?
I obviously have had the privilege of obviously fighting in some of the biggest stages in the world, like Madison Square Garden, such a strong heritage, such a iconic venue. I've had a chance to fight in Wembley Arena here in London as well, on the huge Anthony Joshua undercard. Those around 90,000 people were in the venue for that fight. Although I don't think there's that many there for my fight, um, but having a chance to obviously fight in such a huge card, and the likes of Cardiff as well was a very, very special one for me. That was my first world title as well as a professional. I think every single time I've fought, the atmosphere has been electric, and just having the privilege of being able to do it was something I absolutely love. And to fight in these big stadiums on the biggest stage is an absolute privilege, really.
Well, look, and again, you're going to be fighting another Matchroom card. It's a great organisation, great promotion for the, obviously the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO World Female Light title. Now, you have a decorated amateur career as well. Plenty of World Youth medals and, great amateur medals across the board. What's a coach? Have you ever had a coach that never coached you, was maybe didn't coach you, or maybe coached one of your opponents that you respected?
Yeah, I'm sure there's been plenty over the years. I obviously have been involved in amateur boxing for years, and you're involved around some of the best boxers in the world at amateur level, and they're being coached by some of the best coaches in the world as well, the likes of the Russian fighters. I don't think you ever see a bad Russian fighter at international level, and some of their coaches are obviously phenomenal as well. But I can't really say that I was ever in awe of any of them or anything. But yeah, I mean, I've obviously been around the likes of Freddie Roach. Even I spent a week in the Wildcard gym years and years ago, being around Freddie Roach. That was a great experience.
These are my Freddie Roach frames.
Yeah, there you go. You wear them well. But yeah, I can honestly say that I think I've been surrounded by some of the best coaches in the world myself, and I've been well schooled, obviously, from a very, very early age. And I feel like I'm working with one of the best coaches in the world myself, and Rossina White. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for a lot of different coaches, but I'm very, very glad that I'm working with the coach that I have.
last time we saw you fight was against Natasha Jonas. You've been very busy over the last over the last 2 years. How have you noticed yourself change in such a small period? You've had a lot of fights in the last 2 years. A fighter can usually see a bit of a change. Yeah, have you noticed yourself getting stronger in the pocket? Is it your ring IQ? Is your footwork? Have you seen yourself change the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think I definitely have improved greatly over the last few years, even since I first turned professional 5 years ago. I didn't realize, to be honest, when I actually went into the pro game, how different amateur boxing was to professional boxing. I did have to learn on the job. I was going into this sport thinking, boxing is just boxing, but what works in the amateur game doesn't work in the pro game, and I learned that the hard way. I think I had to adapt and I had to evolve as a fighter. I definitely feel like I'm more of a pro fighter today than I've ever been, really. And the great thing about professional boxing in general is there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. You can always improve and always learn, and I think I have improved greatly over the last couple of years. And like you said, in the pocket, I think I have become a great fighter in close distance, and I'm looking forward to showcasing all of that on Saturday night as well. I definitely have worked on a lot of things over the last few months, and I'm just excited to go in there and actually perform.
Excellent. Now, obviously, the female side of the sport's picking right up across the board, where we've seen such a strong movement in UFC. How do you see the female side of boxing at the moment in this new decade that we've moved into?
Yeah, I think over the last 5 years, women's boxing has grown so much, and I'm obviously very, very happy where the sport is right now. I think we've bridged the gap greatly over the last few years. I think when I first turned pro, women's boxing, professional boxing was kind of unknown. You obviously had the era of the likes of Christy Martin, Deirdre Gogarty, Layla Ali, Lucia Riker, Anne Wolfe, Jane Couch, those kind of girls who made great waves in the sport. But then there's a bit of a lull, I think, for a few years. So I think it's great to see where we've actually come over these last few years. I think there's a female boxing match on every single card at the moment, and it's not unusual anymore. People are actually excited about these fights, and I'd love to get women's boxing to a stage where we're headlining fights. On a weekly basis, really, just like the UFC have done. Some of the best fighters in the UFC have been female fighters, and I'd love to get women's boxing to that point.
Have you ever been to Australia?
I've actually never been to Australia. It's one of the countries that I've actually never been to. Yeah. It's a long flight though, isn't it?
It is that, but the beaches are amazing, and so is the weather.
Yeah.
And when the country's looking at it like it's in the planet's moving into the right direction, you should come and check it out.
Yeah, I'd love to, absolutely love to. I know that the Australian supporters I actually have some great support from there, so I'm always so grateful. But yeah, I would absolutely love to actually visit there one day.
Now, if you don't want to make any predictions for how the fight will end, but if you do, that'd be great. Let us know. But otherwise, what is your favorite punch?
I think my left hook has always been very, very successful. But my best punch is probably the jab. It's the most underused punch, but the most underrated punch, I think, in boxing. So the jab is probably it sets everything up, doesn't it? So my jab is probably I have to start throwing it a bit more, but I love my jab. Yeah.
Katie Taylor, you are the queen of boxing. We wish you nothing but the best and hope that we see another great performance and a technical, clinical display.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.